An absolute blockbuster mega trade involving two of the biggest superstars in all of the NBA.
Mavericks are trading Luka Dončić, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Lakers for Anthony Davis.
My basketball journey has been a lot of fun.
Start with Dimes, because this man can pass. Hey. Eyes in the back of his head. 3-point game against the Atlanta Hawks.
He's a former Hawk, you know.
Hold on, did you hear that right? The Dallas Mavericks just traded Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. The franchise player, the heart and soul of the Mavs, the guy they were supposed to build around for the next decade. But here's the thing, this wasn't just a move to shake up the NBA landscape. This was about money, power, and the future of basketball. And if you think it's just another superstar trade, you're dead wrong. This deal reveals a massive shift in how teams handle their superstar players, especially with these monster Supermax contracts. So, why did the Mavericks pull the trigger on this trade? Why did the Lakers get Luka without having to give him a Supermax deal? And does this set a dangerous precedent for other teams with franchise players? Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the business side of the NBA, and trust me, it's more dramatic than you think.
Here comes Luka. Luka from just inside half. Oh, he banked it in! Right here. Back cut. Oh! Luka. It opens up. He drives, and Luka dunks.
Luka backs him out. Grant.
No bubble busting, please. A long three.
Before we get into the why, let's take a step back. Who is Luka Dončić, and why was this trade such a shock to the basketball world? Luka Dončić isn't just a great player. He's one of the most talented offensive forces we've ever seen. At just 25 years old, he's already accomplished more than most NBA players do in their entire careers. He's a 5-time NBA All-Star, 3-time All-NBA First Team, and he was the NBA Rookie of the Year in 2019. With a career average of 28-plus points, 8-plus rebounds, and 8-plus assists per game, Luka has drawn comparisons to legends like Larry Bird, LeBron James, and James Harden, thanks to his insane court vision, size, and scoring ability. And let's not forget, this guy took the Mavericks to the Western Conference Finals in 2022, knocking out the top-seeded Phoenix Suns in one of the most dominant Game 7 performances ever. This is why the trade is so shocking. Dallas had a once-in-a-generation player, and instead of keeping him for life, they let him go. So, why? It all comes down to one thing: money. Let's talk about the Supermax problem and why it forced the Mavericks to make the toughest decision in franchise history.
The most shocking, stunning, and it makes absolutely no sense for so many different reasons.
For those who don't know, the Supermax contract is designed to help teams keep their biggest stars by offering them the most money possible. The idea is simple. If a player qualifies for a Supermax, their original team can pay them way more than anyone else. Sounds great, right? Wrong. The problem? That Supermax deal would have eaten up over 35% of the Mavericks' entire salary cap. That's right, one player taking up over a third of the team's spending power. Luka was set to earn $345 million over 5 years if the Mavs gave him the full Supermax. That's $69 million per year. Insane! History tells us that when a team commits to a Supermax deal, things can get ugly fast. Just ask the Boston Celtics, who just handed out massive contracts to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Now, they're so deep into the luxury tax that they're basically playing hard mode when it comes to building a competitive roster. So, here's the harsh truth. Dallas looked at the books and realized they couldn't afford Luka Doncic long-term, not without gutting the rest of the roster and surrounding him with bargain bin role players. In today's NBA, one superstar alone isn't enough. Just look at teams like Denver and Boston, which thrive on depth and flexibility.
I've been a master my whole entire life since I've been a baby. This is the worst moment in the history of my life.
Trade, bro. That was just a terrible trade. Hate everything about it.
I'm so sad, man, for real. I'm sad and disappointed.
Why are we trading the best player, the franchise player?
Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Lakers didn't just land Luka, they landed him without having to pay him the Supermax. How? Because when a player is traded before signing the Supermax, the new team can't offer it. That means instead of paying Luka the full $345 million, the Lakers now only have to pay him the standard maximum contract, which saves them tens of millions of dollars over the next few years. This is a genius financial move by LA. Not only do they get one of the best players in the world, but they also avoid locking themselves into a contract that could cripple their future spending. Meanwhile, the Mavericks, they get draft picks, young talent, and freedom. They're no longer stuck in financial handcuffs. But hold on, there's another reason Dallas was willing to move on from Luka. To stay informed on the hottest NBA news, kindly click that subscribe button. If you've been enjoying yourself, you can show us love by smashing the thumbs up button.
Meanwhile, Luka was called for a delay of game because he didn't have his jersey tucked in. Luka has been in that position, walking like that, for the last 20 seconds.
Nobody's talking about this. Luka Doncic has been battling injuries, and they might be worse than we realize. Just before the trade, Luka was sidelined with a calf strain that kept him out for multiple games, but insiders are now suggesting that it wasn't just a minor issue. Luka has had issues with his conditioning and durability for years, and it seems some inside the Mavericks organization were worried about committing Supermax money to a player who might not be at full strength long term. That's a massive risk when you're talking about paying someone $69 million per year into their 30s. So, instead of gambling on Luka's long-term health, the Mavs did something bold. They cashed out while they still could. And here's the real kicker. Some reports say Luka's injury might require longer-term management than just a short recovery period. If that's the case, the Mavericks may have quietly dodged a bullet, offloading a superstar before his durability became a major liability.
Well, in fact, he is signing that contract as we speak, the richest contract in NBA history.
As well, Boston could be, a fully integrated, self-sufficient. What more beautiful place than to be in the environment with youth?
We just saw the Boston Celtics commit to both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on Supermax deals. That means their payroll is about to go through the roof. While Boston is still a championship contender, it's now stuck in a financial squeeze. It'll have almost no flexibility to add key role players in free agency because its stars are taking up so much cap space. Now, look at the teams that haven't given out Supermax deals. The Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic and the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo. They've managed to keep spending power for solid supporting casts. This trade might just be the beginning of a new trend. If teams like Dallas are willing to trade generational talent to avoid paying a Supermax, what's stopping other teams from doing the same? Imagine this scenario. The New Orleans Pelicans realize they don't want to pay Zion Williamson his Supermax in a few years and trade him early. The Minnesota Timberwolves move off Anthony Edwards before his massive deal kicks in. The Philadelphia 76ers consider trading Joel Embiid to avoid future salary cap hell. This could change the way NBA teams operate forever.
Whoop. Been a timeout call, but we ain't going nowhere. We're going to let you... His second, so out of the game he's going to go. Here's Luka's handles.
Yeah. We're going to get some Globetrotter stuff too.
Finish, but the pass, woo!
With a fadeaway three! Beautiful play, but it's even better than that. The precursor to Luka Doncic.
So here's the million-dollar question. Did Dallas make the right move? On one hand, they gave up a generational talent. Luka is one of the most skilled offensive players we've ever seen, and you don't just find players like that every day. On the other hand, the Mavericks avoided financial disaster and set themselves up for a full rebuild. And for the Lakers, they just landed one of the biggest stars in the game at a discount. But one thing's for sure, this trade just changed the NBA. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did Dallas make a mistake? Will the Lakers dominate the league now? Are we about to see more superstars get traded before they can sign these crazy contracts? See you in the next one.